Alright then, let's check out this video from it. Senpai, I do like a little bit of Crayon Eater gameplay every now and again. Let's see why Jiyan will never be Powercrept. Ultimate Jiyan Guide. He's playing on a pad. What's this? I know a lot of people do with this game, actually. I'm only joking. But yeah, I really like Jiyan. Super Crayon Eater, super basic, but he's a lot of fun as well to use. He's that Unga Bunga character, but I'm here for it. But let's see why he'll be never be Powercrept then. Optimize rotations for energy acquisition. Is this literally just going to be a gameplay? Showing off Jiyan, or are we actually going to get some reasoning as to why? Godly crowd control, this is true. I've been saying this. This is one of the reasons why I think Jiyan's just great for the account anyway. He's just great for, well, crowd control in stuff where there's ads. He's brilliant for things like tacit fields, overworld farming, anything that like, you know, like simulations, anything that's got like a few enemies within the challenge and you could just clear them out in no time, hit that ult, go ham, things done. It's great for that. I know there's other characters that can do it, but like, there's just nobody who does it like Jiyan. Really is all about just get that ult, go ham, Crayon Eat, you're good to go.
From my recent community post,
here we go,
it
let's
seems
go.
that most people skipped Jiyan during his first banner.
It seemed that, yeah, looking at the revenue as well, it went up massively on Yinlin, which I kind of expected. It's a female banner anyway, and she is a really good off-field sub DPS also. But for me, like, I had to get him just looking at him. As soon as I saw that gameplay of him pulling out that dragon, I was just, dude, that looks too cool to skip for me. And him and Calcharo, just two Giga Chad looking characters, had to make sure I got them. And I'm really glad I did as well, because as I say, super simple. A lot of people don't like him for that, but I like him for that. You're able to switch off sometimes and you can just farm with him. It's really nice.
In version 1.0, and I don't blame you if you skipped him for Yinlin, because
I do.
Yinlin's character design and her big personalities are enough for you to skip him. Some of you guys might have also been afraid that he would get power creeped very quickly, since he's the first dedicated DPS that we had in version 1.0. So this video will help inform you that that's not happening anytime soon. If you skipped him, this video will inform you of what you're missing out on, but if you pulled for him,
okay, I want to know, why is he never going to be Powercrept then? I said this before because people were saying that, you know, with like the release of Jinsei and Changli, that he's already been Powercrept in a way. And of course, if you optimize your build, you can, and your playstyle, you can definitely get a little bit more juice out of them too. But Jiyan just does it way easier. You know, it's a double-edged sword of like, you might get a little bit less, but you can do it so much easier. You can go on autopilot, you can switch off, and for specific content, when you are kind of just switched off, it's brilliant, you know, because like, let's not pretend that we aren't playing some of these games sometimes, someone up on a second monitor, someone up on our phone, and we're just autopiloting the shit.
this video will also go in depth regarding how you can optimize his gameplay for good resonance energy acquisition, quick rotations, and big damage. Jiyan is the perfect definition of Unga Bunga playstyles, and I doubt that we'll ever get a character that's better than him at what he provides. Now, before you roast me in the comments, let me explain. Damage dealers in many games are, well, supposed to do damage as the name implies, but there are some other features that should be built in their kit for you to dish out the most damage, and Jiyan has all those features, including ease of playstyle, crowd control, AoE damage, and brain dead parry playstyle. But like every character,
like his interrupt is just insane, you know. You literally with Jiyan, because like obviously because he's all about heavies anyway, it's just hold down mouse 1 or whatever you're using on a pad, and you're good to go. You pretty much do not need to think at all. Again, that's what makes him great for me, man. I like chewing on some crayons now and again, I do.
Character in the game, he has some cons as well. His kit is not well made for solo playstyles because his intro generates half of his forte bar, which is what you need to deal big nuke damage from his forte, so it incentivizes you to always play him in a team because you'll be wasting time doing basic attacks to recover forte stacks while playing solo. He's
really a hyper carry, isn't he?
On his liberation to do majority of his damage, so overworld exploration and farming might become annoying since the enemies die way too fast while your liberation is still active. And lastly, inefficient resonance energy.
See, like, that's the reason why I like him for that sort of stuff. I want stuff to die as fast as possible when I'm farming. You know, if I'm doing simulation challenges, if I'm doing forgeries, if I'm just doing overworld stuff, if I'm just trying to spam collecting my echoes for the day, Jiyan's perfect for that shit. Just go ham, CC the crap out of everything, kill it all quick, you're done.
Energy acquisition if you don't optimize his rotations. In this video, I'll be talking about why Jiyan's simplicity is his best feature, team availability, optimized rotations for guaranteed liberations, and how you can do more damage during his liberation by using dash cancels. Like
simplicity
I do in all of my character
is the best thing about it, in my opinion.
I'm not only going to show you why everyone should have Jiyan, but I'm also going to provide solutions to his cons or disadvantages so that you can enjoy him as much as you want. If this video proves helpful or useful to you in any way, then don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps me out tremendously. Jiyan's simplicity is one of the things that makes him stand out when compared to other DPS characters in the game, because you need two things to make him dish out damage, which are full resonance energy and an intro skill. The rest is basically button spamming to do damage. His skill and basic attacks in his liberation.
Dude, he's so basic. You know, he's so basic. Super Unga Bunga, super Crane Eater. Man, I'm here for that. And he just looks cool doing it as well. Awesome character design. I love the dragon. He just looks so freaking cool. And at the end of the day, a big factor for me is that fun factor, that style factor. I want a bit of that in the gameplay as well, you know? Of course, if you're wanting to min-max, if you wanted to be efficient, it's all about the kits. It's all about the kits. It's all about the synergy. It's all about the damage. It's all about the best team for the job. But sometimes it's just fun to play and look cool doing it, isn't it?
Are the most reliable brain-dead ways of parrying incoming attacks per my testing, which gets rid of the need for the player to learn complex parry timings.
Your boy's doing some big damage, dude. That's gotta be, he's gotta have some, what C is that? There's gotta definitely be some copies in there, yeah, right? Because that's some big damage. Jiyan does some decent damage, but jeez, bro.
All characters like Jinshi demand specific 5-star units like Jeji and Yinlin on her team to provide coordinated attacks for filling her forte gauge. All that Jiyan needs is Mortefi, a 4-star unit who provides heavy attack buff from his outro skill, since Jiyan's basic attack in his liberation are considered heavy attack damage. Mortefi being a 4-star character also makes it easier to get his S6, which buffs all team members' attack by 20% after casting his liberation.
That's what I'm still waiting on now. I can't remember if I'm at S4, S5 in Mortefi now. Or I think Mortefi is going to get even better as well, because it looks like Yuhu's got the potential to actually make Mortefi a little bit better, which hopefully in turn is going to, you know, make Jiyan even better as well. But I need to build Mortefi up more, actually. I've kind of like, he's great for Jiyan, but I've kind of just stopped using, to be fair, recently I haven't been using Jiyan much at all, if I'm honest. I've kind of been just enjoying using like Jinsa and Changli. Might not be the best team, running Verena as well, but it's just fun, you know what I mean? I like to run fun builds for the most part.
Now, this is where you might say that Jinshi also has Yuanwu as a 4-star option for providing coordinated attacks, but Yuanwu does a really bad job of generating concerto energy for casting quick outro skills, which helps in energy acquisition for the next character that enters the field. This is something that Mortefi excels at, helping other characters in the team who suffers from energy issues. On top of that, relying on only Yuanwu in a Jinshi team to provide coordinated attacks feels hectic sometimes, because the enemy can move out of Yuanwu's circle, so you have to chase them down and put down.
This is true. This is what I was talking about with Shorekeeper as well, because I think they've extended the range of a domain expansion like her ult, and I was saying that probably makes sense, because when I first saw it, I wasn't too sure if it was going to be a bit small, because obviously with some of the more mobile enemies, are they going to be like in and out of it, and you're not really going to be getting the benefit of it at all. So that's a good point as well, actually.
Down another circle. These are major reasons why you might want to pull for limited characters like Jeji and Yinlin for ease of playstyle in a Jinshi team. Jiyan,
I'm still annoyed I lost my 50-50 on Jeji.
Any of these issues when you take his easy accessible teams in consideration, which includes Verena and Mortefi. Another thing that makes Mortefi a must-have in a Jiyan team is the fact that he can use his normal skill and forte skill multiple times in one rotation, helping Jiyan acquire roughly 50% of the energy that Mortefi gets whilst he is on the field, which increases Jiyan's energy acquisition even from off-field. When fighting mob-type enemies in the tower, one of the most painful things that can happen to your DPS character is not having any means of grouping enemies, which Jiyan excels at. He's undoubtedly the best grouper that we currently have in the game. Keep in mind that you always need to
by far as well, in my opinion. Dude just clears everybody else in CC.
Target characters that keeps their distance, like the Fraxidus enemy that carries a missile launcher. Prioritizing your attacks on him will let the other enemies come to you, which you can then use to pull them together and deal big damage.
That's the thing as well, it's not even just like the CC of like crowd control, pulling people in. It's like, while you're doing that, you can be dashing around and just yoinking everybody else in as well. Nobody gets to escape from it.
To them at the same time due to Jiyan's wide AoE damage capability. Jiyan heavily relies on his intro skill for generating 40 stacks and his liberation for doing majority of his damage, so carefully optimizing your rotations to ensure that you can recover more energy solves his biggest problem, which can help you do damage quickly as possible when you're up against enemies in the tower or hologram bosses. I'll be showing you how I don't run into energy issues with just 116 energy regen, which I got from only substats.
Dude, you know what? The one thing about my Jiyan though, which I've got to sort, because for quite a while on this game, I've just not been messing with my echoes. They're not optimized. They're nowhere near what they should be. Recently as well, I've been playing other games, but for a long time, I kind of just stopped caring, if I'm honest. I'm not one of these people who's got to min-max everything, but I'm at the point now where I want to improve on stuff because my crit rate is ridiculously bad with Jiyan. It's like, I don't know if it's like 33% or 37%, which is terrible. I want to get it to at least 60%. That's the plan anyway now. Just to, obviously, because without it, it kind of sucks. But yeah, it's real bad. It's real bad. My echo efficiency in this game is terrible at the minute anyway.
I'll be using the middle hazard zone in the Tower of Adversity as an example. Every character has 0 concerto energy in the beginning, so what I like to do is to get the Verena outro and swap to Jiyan while skipping Mortefi's outro buff. I'll walk you through it step by step. What I like to do is to use her liberation and skill. If you're up against aggressive enemies like Inferno Rider, you can use his attacks to trigger dodge counters, which makes you generate stacks much faster by making Verena start her basic attacks from the 3rd stage. When you obtain 2 stacks, swap to Jiyan and use a skill and echo. The monkey echo has a long animation, so you have to cancel it perfectly to gain the full buff. What you should do to make that happen is to swap back to Verena as soon as you hear the first hiss sound.
Dude, that particular animation looks so scuffed of a big monkey there. That looked proper scuffed.
Effect of the monkey echo. This will allow you to get the full buff that the echo provides and prevent you from being stuck in midair after the second attack if you swap after the second hit attack. Jump and use basic attacks with Verena to fully fill her forte gauge. Then swap back to Jiyan to cast his intro and use his liberation. While in his liberation, make sure to use his skill whenever it's available to you to help with resonance energy acquisition. If you do this correctly, you can use his skill twice in his damage window, one during his liberation mode and another one when his liberation ends. As you can see, my resonance energy gauge is almost half filled, which is a good sign you did it correctly. Then swap to Mortefi so that you can recover a bit of control.
Yeah, it's like in tacit field sometimes. It feels like you're like on the ult constantly sometimes. I know it's not the case, but that it feels like it, like it's total you know, placebo, but it definitely feels like that.
Energy with his intro. Use a skill and then swap between Verena and Mortefi if the boss is not actively attacking you, because doing so allows each of them to start their basic attacks from the 3rd stage, which helps recover a significant amount of concerto energy. During the swaps, be sure to use their skills if it's available to you. As soon as Verena gains enough stacks that can fully fill her concerto energy, jump and use her basic attacks to fully fill her concerto energy. Then swap to Jiyan because the intro can help with his resonance energy acquisition. Use a skill and then use his echo, just like I previously explained, to help cancel the echo.
Dude, I don't know if it's because of his rotation, but the echo skill is coming in so freaking scuffed. And again, 215 millisecond ping. What is with so many people playing on such high ping? I don't get it.
Animation. Then swap back to Mortefi, use a skill, liberation, and do some basic attacks to fully fill his concerto energy, and then swap back to Jiyan. If you have S6 Mortefi, try to delay your liberation a bit to allow Jiyan to enjoy the full buff uptime, so I suggest that you always use it when Mortefi's concerto energy is about 75% full. This rotation guarantees that Jiyan's liberation will be available to you every rotation while having all your buffs at the same time. Now let's look at how you can do more damage during his liberation. If you look at the scalings on his liberation, you can tell that the scalings on the 1st stage is relatively higher than the 2nd stage, and the difference between the 1st stage and the 3rd stage is not that high, so you can use some dash cancels to cancel the last hit animation of the 1st stage and basically do the 1st stage attack in a loop. How you can do this properly is to always keep your eyes on the green dragon. The dragon will circle around you twice. The second one will be your cue to dash and then attack again. The second cue that you can...
I didn't know that. I didn't know that actually. I suppose it's because he's so unga munga, I'm switched off when I'm playing him, if I'm honest. This is actually the thinking man's Unga Bunga playstyle, isn't it? I didn't know that.
Used to dash properly is when Jiyan lands on the ground after casting the first stage attack. Dashing correctly at this time will allow the dragon to hit 8 times just as it would if you were doing the normal spam attacks. It will take some time to get used to it, but it will become muscle memory with enough practice. That covers everything for Jiyan. Let me know if I missed anything. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
So please,
Dude, I remember that video. Dude, yeah, good video, good content creator, actually, man. I'm gonna have to watch some more of his content. Yeah, again, the thinking man's Unga Bunga playstyle there, that is, for a character that is purely Unga Bunga. Not really actual reasons why so much that he won't be Powercrept other than his, like, I guess, skill expression with how he plays Jiyan. I do think, though, that is one of the factors of why a lot of people don't like him is he's so simple, and I think that's going to be a factor of necessarily why he's not going to be Powercrept so much. Not in so much that raw numbers are not going to be going to go higher, just the fact that he's so easy to get. I know, obviously, as he said, you can go that little bit extra with those cancels and obviously your rotations and all that sort of stuff. You can always squeeze more out of him, of course, but you can pretty much get 99.9% out of him easy, where other characters not so much. They can get a little bit more and then will obviously continue to get a little bit more, but you have to work just a little bit harder and think about what you're doing just a little bit more as well. So I suppose that is one of the main reasons why. And again, for me, I say it all the time, his CC is just ridiculous. Like, it's so good, in my opinion, for overworld stuff, for simulations, for forgeries, for tacit fields, with anything that's got multiple adds, multiple little annoying creatures. You just suck them all up and you just go ham on them. And yeah, I really like that about him, actually. As I said, a lot of people don't like the simplicity of him, but, you know, for me, I like it. I do. I like it now and again. It's nice to just be able to switch off and just hit things. So yeah, great video from its senpai, guys. You should go show some love. Why Jiyan will never be Powercrept.